We took Erin and her best friend out to dinner to P.F. Chang's to celebrate. They both got straight A's on their very first high school report card. But while we were sitting there having dinner, Erin seemed to have a hard time speaking. It was almost as if she'd become tongue-tied. We did have a referral to a pediatric neurologist. He wanted to do a lumbar puncture, and the doctor came back to do the procedure, and we heard her name paged to go back to pediatrics. And her bed was being pushed out of the room. There was a nurse sitting on her, bagging her. The neurologist was on the phone to Loma Linda.
As a young girl, becoming a teenager, she developed a very unusual, remarkable illness, a disease that affected her brain. Not her whole brain, but just part of her brain. The part of the brain that was affected involved the motor system.
They ultimately decided that the bronchitis she'd had earlier had crossed the blood-brain barrier and caused what they termed profuse demyelination. And they basically said of undetermined etiology. So it still remains a mystery, but what also remains a mystery is how she survived. There were many, many days and nights that they told us, we don't know what to expect. We don't really expect her to survive the weekend. She was at Loma Linda and eventually transferred to Totally Kids. She was medically stable, but certainly not able to come home. She was what they considered to be either locked in or in a permanent vegetative state. We were told that if she made improvements there, she could come back for rehab to Loma Linda. And when she went to Totally Kids, Gary, her dad, told anybody who would listen, she's only here temporarily, she's going back to Loma Linda. And we kind of got a lot of head nods and, oh yeah, sure, we've heard that before. Meanwhile, Gary had taken a video camera to school and taped all of her friends giving messages. I played the tape for her. We played it over and over and over. Things at home, her sisters, the dog, and her friends were on this. There had never been any recognition whatsoever. I put the tape on. She had a friend named Nick, and Nick was on the screen and talking and joking to her, and I thought I saw a smile. And I rewound it, and I saw another little smile. And I rewound it, and nothing. And I rewound it another time, and nothing, but it was there. I saw it. And I ran out to call her dad. That was in August. By the end of September, she was coming back to Loma Linda for rehab. The physical medicine and rehabilitation department here at Loma Linda has been wonderful. When Erin went back to rehab, it was just so alive and so full of life. It was a rigorous schedule that she had. It was speech therapy, PT and OT 5 days a week. She had her life saved here. If not for the skill and the dedication and the tenacity of especially the peds ICU doctors, she would not have survived. Before she went to Loma Linda, she couldn't do anything except move her head.
And after a number of weeks on rehab, she developed a little bit of motor recovery in her left hand.
What would you like to tell anybody else about Loma Linda?
It's wonderful. I learned so much about myself here.
She had two teachers who were most instrumental. They started coming to Loma Linda when she was in rehab. When she returned to high school, she received straight A's, graduated, I believe, number 30 in her class of over 500 students. She's received her AA at a community college. She's been involved with an organization called Free Wheelchair Mission. They provide no-cost wheelchairs to the disabled in third world countries. Never underestimate what your child or anybody else in a wheelchair is capable of. There's a lot more to an individual than meets the eye.
She wrote out for me a most amazing comment. My life is not terrible, it is wonderful. I am surrounded by friends and family who love me just as I am. Just remarkable.
So Erin, what would you like other people to know about you?
that life can still be wonderful after extreme adversity.